Kitty Clash, also known as Morgan J. Today is the 11th day of swimming, year 27, or July 11th, 2025. I was told on the Neopets Discord that TNT addressed some of the transphobia allegations in their Neopets monthly update, AMA, key updates, quarter 3 products, and marketing roadmap. And this press release, I guess it's called, is from July 4th, 2025. So that would have been the 4th day of swimming, year 27. This week has been kind of just the RFK Jr. Interview stuff has been incredibly difficult on my mental health. I have a lot of really bad memories from my childhood that it has basically brought to the forefront, and so I apologize that it's taking me a week to cover this topic, but I'm really struggling mental health wise right now. So yeah, Neopets monthly update, AMA, key updates, quarter 3 products, and marketing roadmap, July 4th, 2025. June in Neopia recap and what's next. My apologies, there is an image. It looks to be Neopia Central in the background because I see the defenders of Neopia headquarters, the auction house, the bank, and the money tree. On the left, there is a yellow faerie and a red usul holding a blue. Oh, sorry, is it speckled? I can never remember what the color is called, but the fee pit. It's like blue with little white speckles on it. And on the right side of the page, there's a blue Kachik who looks to be running and holding an angel puss who looks a little bit nervous. And then there's a purple pet from Shinku. It looks kind of like a dragon. I can never remember what it's called. I think it starts with a K, and there's a toothpaste named after it where supposedly if you believe in it, you can use it, but if you don't, all your pets' teeth will fall out. That's what I remember about the pet, some item of the grooming parlor that's based off of it. And the Neopets logo in the center, as well as the center bottom saying June in Neopia recap and what's next. A message from TNT Dom. Hello everyone, I'm excited to share some updates and discuss a few community concerns in Neopets. We're committed to improving our transparency, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on how we can make things even better together. Part A, community questions and answers. 1. The NC Mall was revamped. Why were drop rates for capsules not published? Secondly, can we please have a pity system for NC capsules? Oh gosh. I actually have some mixed thoughts about the NC Mall because I never want to think of Neopets as being like bad, but I do realize that I may or may not have a gambling addiction. So I'm just thinking like of all the times that I spent like real world money on mystery capsules for Pet Pet Park specifically, and how there was a time where I spent probably like $25 on this one capsule to try and get a dress, and it never gave me the dress. And so yeah, I do think that Neopets has had some issues with basically what's the word, benefiting from children gambling. So yeah, I don't know. I still, like, I don't want to think anything bad of Neopets because I have so many good memories of that growing up. But yeah, they did profit off of children gambling. So the team has been actively working on this release. While we initially planned to share drop rates alongside the NC Mall revamp, we are still working on verifying the accuracy of the percentages, especially for older capsules. Oh, that's true, because TNT, I think they've gone through like multiple ownerships. So I think I started playing back when it was owned by Viacom, and then I think it got sold to Jumpstart, and then Jumpstart got taken over by NetDragon, and then at some point it ended up under, is it TNT Dom's management or ownership? And so it is possible that like the current team might not actually have concrete knowledge about like older capsules that were created during previous management, especially because the site has gone through just multiple owners over the years. especially for older capsules, to ensure we provide the community with reliable information. Yeah, reliable information would be helpful. We aim to have this released in quarter 3. When is quarter 3? I really would like it if they would give accurate dates. I'm kind of burned by Phasmophobia, where the team of Phasmophobia would sometimes like put out updates of this is when we plan to have things released. It would be like this time frame, this time frame, this time frame, and then projects that were supposed to come out at a certain time frame would be like delayed by over a year in some circumstances. So I would like more concrete dates rather than quarter 3, because that doesn't really tell me when that's gonna be. We aim to have this released in quarter 3, and we will be releasing an FAQ when it's finalized. Is it supposed... That seems like a little grammar thing, because I usually think of FAQ as being like a FAQ, but to me, I don't know, like, I don't know how I feel about that, because little typo grammar things on one hand communicate like, oh, this is written by a human, it's a humanizing element, but on the other hand it could still like communicate like, was this actually really well proofread? So I don't know, I have mixed thoughts on that, because me from like 10 years ago would be very irate about a typo in something like something like that's supposed to be official, but nowadays with like the rise of AI, I kind of like more of like the humanizing element. So I don't know, like I feel like over time, I feel like I was always kind of like a little bit of a perfectionist, and am learning to be more appreciative of the human elements of things nowadays, and realize that like, hey, sometimes things that like may seem like a mistake at first, it's like, well, that shows that it was made by a human, and that's okay. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's something I'm still learning to be more accepting of in myself too. Just the fact that, hey, sometimes there will be one little thing that slips through. In case you don't know, I have an associate's in arts and creative writing, and so one thing that would always like irritate me is like sometimes like I'd have like a typo of something and I'd be like, how did this miss like my proofreading, Microsoft Word spell check, and end up like in the final like the final version of a paper, and I'd be like, why? How did I miss this? So yeah, at this time we are not planning to implement a pity system. Here's why. Oh, a major overhaul would be required. The team has explored different models and considered how much a system could be integrated into the current NC capsule structure. Introducing a pity system is not a simple update. It would necessitate significant changes to the way capsule rewards are generated and tracked. This would affect backend systems and the user experience. Maybe they should hire more programmers. I know I'm always gonna say that, but maybe they should hire more programmers. Not something that can be implemented easily. Due to the complexity and scope of the required changes, this is not a feature that could be quickly or safely introduced without risking unintended issues elsewhere in the NC mall. Ongoing commitment to transparency. While a pity system may not be on the immediate roadmap, we are committed to improving transparency around capsule odds and other NC mall mechanics. Your feedback is invaluable in shaping future developments, and we encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts. Honestly, it's been probably years since I've bought a capsule for anything other than like there's a trading system on Neopets where you will go to like the NC Mall Neo boards and like negotiate with other players to send them an item with a gift box, and they'll send you something else in return. So I think I've probably bought like gift box capsules more recently just to I do the whole NC Mall trading, but it has been years since I've like bought a capsule to open on the site. I was honestly considering doing the what was it, buying one of those style thingamabobs for the chance to get like one of the nostalgic island pets, but that was kind of what was it? I was gonna say basically the timing of that was I'm currently on hiatus, and there have been some controversies with the way that TNT has been handling just some transphobia issues on the site with moderation specifically, and I ended up going on hiatus before I ended up buying the style paintbrush thingy. And I don't know, like, I think I might still have some neocash on the side that might have been like free birthday neocash from, was it November for their 25th birthday or something? And if I do log on to the site and that's the island styles are still there, I might buy one of the little style guide things with the free birthday neocash. Because I always wanted, my very first pet was a yellow flotsam, and I always wanted a glass flotsam, but by the time that I joined the site, glass was retired. But my second choice for my little Maria would have been the old look of the island flotsam that was much more saturated and yellow versus like the more tan color that's in the modern island flotsam. And so I really would be interested in like the nostalgic style for my very first pet. There's a whole long story behind my little Maria. Childhood trauma alert, I guess. But my parents punished me one time by abandoning Maria in the pound, and it took, thankfully, I guess, pound release. She got stuck in pound release, and so I think over a decade later, she was released from pound release, and no one had adopted her yet, and so I was able to readopt my little baby Maria, my very first pet. She has a special place in my heart, but a lot of trauma related to her, and so I guess, I don't know, I feel like pain every time that I see her, and so I have a walkie that I prefer and like think of as being like my main pet, because I have too much trauma around Maria. But I would like Maria to be like the nostalgic island color, because my favorite color is yellow, like a bright, saturated Crayola yellow. And so I'd love to see her being the island, the nostalgic island color. But yes, thank you for your understanding and continued support as we work to improve the NCML experience. When is TVW coming back? TVW stands for The Void Within. It said March, but now it is June. We sincerely apologize for the delay due to the team having some shifting priorities like essential bug fixing, improvements to site performance, and general maintenance on the site. We have unfortunately been set back further than anticipated. I have to come back from hiatus by August 4th? I'm sorry for my pained sound. The Void Within was so... You know what? I'm trying to be honest about mental health and stuff. The Void Within sucked. I hate the FOMO, and I hate having to log in to the site every single day. The site is not really bringing me joy these days, but I am dealing with like FOMO of like, oh, if I don't log in, am I gonna miss out on something? So we aim to see the plot return on 4th August 2025. Confound it. I'm not ready to come back from hiatus yet. We know this may be disappointing, but we are grateful for the community's patience and understanding as the dedicated team. Oh my gosh, not to mention Neopets. Okay, that makes me smile. Works behind the scenes. 3. Why did TNT release new pet colors on the news and never release them? Tyrannian Niptor. I think that's a little dinosaur pet. Woodland Sludgy. Oh, the Sludgy, I think that's this little mud-looking thing. And the brown Spartle. And the Spartle is like, I think that's based off of a dog. Maybe like a Chihuahua? We were made aware of a bug where some new pet colors weren't available at the pet pedal. Thank you to all the Neopians who let us know so that we could look into the issue as soon as possible. We're happy to report this bug has now been fixed. The Tyrannian Niptor, Woodland Sludgy, and Brown Spartle can all be obtained now through visiting the pet pedal. Can you change the NC Mall survey prizes so 5 users are not the only ones getting exclusive, unrelated, limited avatars? Yeah, that was a very valid community concern. We do not need more avatars that are exclusive like this, retired, region locked, or behind a paywall. Yeah, I agree. I'm also really annoyed about the way that they handled the Neopets monopoly, where I learned from YouTube that like one of the stamps that you get from your I haven't actually redeemed this yet. But the virtual prize that comes with a monopoly, because I haven't been on the site in a few, I don't entirely remember how many days it's been, but it's been a little bit now. But apparently the stamp is going for like hundreds of millions of Neopoints or something. And to me, it is absolute rubbish that they're locking an album item behind a monopoly that was like limited to so many releases. That to me is trash. So yeah, I don't like when they make things that are essentially like competitive aspects of the site, like album items and avatars, make them cost like real world money or make them like too hard to obtain for like the player base. Like it isn't fair. It's rubbish. It makes me not want to bother competing. Um, we heard your feedback and thanks for the constructive criticism, Neopians. All players who complete the community survey. Oh, God, found it. I probably need to complete the community survey. I am really struggling at present. And it's just, I've been dealing with a lot. I don't know, it's like, I'm also dealing with the whole rigmarole of, I have reached out to, some friends to help me find therapists in my area, and there's the whole rigmarole of, okay, I have insurance. Not all the mental health care providers in this area accept my insurance. And just like the whole rubbish of like, okay, I thought I found one that might work. I called and it basically just like went on a loop and like no one picked up the phone. It took me to like press these numbers, and I pressed the one to contact the secretary, and it just no one picked up, and it played the loop again. So I couldn't figure out how to leave a message, so I just kind of like chickened out and hung up. So stuff like that where it's like I'm in the process of trying to find a therapist, and it's healthcare in the US is just like a whole rigmarole, because even if you have insurance, it doesn't mean that you'll actually be able to find someone who accepts your insurance. And even if you do, like, it's just sometimes it's the whole rigmarole trying to get a hold of someone at the practice to ask questions like, hey, do you actually accept my insurance? What is the wait time? Are you accepting new patients? So like stuff like that where it's like the wait time for like certain healthcare stuff in the US is, I mean, it probably depends too on like what region you're in, but sometimes like if you're in an area where there's like limited like healthcare resources, it could have like really long wait times too. So yeah, I'm in the process where I've started looking for a therapist, because we had one that I really, I guess I'd say had good experiences with when I was like 6 or 7, but that was in another state, and so I can't go back to that person. But yeah, I'm in the process of looking for a therapist due to just basically the RFK Jr. stuff has brought up a lot of childhood trauma for me, and I feel like I'm at the point where like I really could benefit from having like an actual mental health professional to talk things out with. So yeah, it's been hard. I feel like I'm really struggling, and just really struggling in day-to-day life, because I keep getting brought back to like these really awful memories, and also just like the phantom feelings of that. And so I really don't have the energy to put into doing like Neopets chores, even if I wasn't on hiatus. Like I don't feel like I'd have the energy to put into like these Neopets chores. I'm just really struggling to get through the day to day right now. Like my mind keeps wandering off. So yeah, I'm trying to be upfront about these issues, because if I don't talk about them, other people are probably going through similar things right now. Like right now it's a really hard time for a lot of people, and if I don't talk about these things, then people are going to be feeling like more alone, and I feel like I need to be what's the word? I need to be the person that like childhood me would have benefited from seeing. Like I need to be the representation that childhood me would have benefited from. Like I need to be open about the fact that it's like, hey, I face struggles due to systemic ableism, and because other autistic people also face those struggles, and could benefit from seeing someone like me being upfront and honest about just the struggles that I face. So yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to be more representation-y, the representation that I would have wanted to see. All players who complete the community survey will receive a brand new NC Mall themed avatar, no luck required. Okay, I need to complete that then. Is today, this might be the last day to do it, I should do that at some point. We have updated the original blog post, so please check the full details here. I'm not in the mood to deal with that right now. Okay, we finally reached the question that, like, the people on the Discord told me to check this out because of 5. What actionable steps do you plan to take to address transphobia in Neopets? I think I asked this, but like with an addendum from within the Neopets team itself. So I'm glad to see that multiple people must have asked a very similar question and hounded TNT about this. 5. What actionable steps do you plan to take to address transphobia in Neopets? Back in April, we publicly committed to a series of actionable steps to address harmful behavior in our community, including transphobia. Yeah, and that's also kind of why I'm on hiatus. Like, you've committed to doing things, but like, I saw Herdy get warned. I saw the person who was in charge of the Pride event on the Neoboards get warned, and yet you still don't have a functional block function. Back in April, we publicly committed to a series of actionable steps to address harmful behavior in our community, including transphobia. Our goal is to foster a safer, more inclusive space for everyone, both within TNT and for all players on our site. Here's what we announced and where we are now. Reviewing and updating our moderation policies. We've completed the first round of this review. Previously, even speaking about gender identity was a rule violation, and that created confusion about what was family-friendly. Are they still trying to brand themselves as family friendly? I thought they gave up on that after the Viacom days, because the actual player base of the site are mostly millennials, like, and the very upper age bracket of Gen Z. Like, I think pretty much the entire site, like, the majority of the player base, I think, are like 25 plus. So, like, even though the site was popular with children back in, like, 2005, the people who were kids in 2005 are now, like, 20s to 30s. So I don't understand what they're doing when they're trying to brand themselves as family-friendly, apparently. Like, the actual player base are adults. Our LGBTQI plus players and team members are an important part of our community. Oh, sorry. I don't care about the Windows Security Microsoft Defender update thingy or notification thingamabob. Sorry, I got distracted by the computer. We've completed the first round of this review. Previously, even speaking about gender identity was a rule violation, and that created confusion about what was family-friendly. Our LGBTQI plus players and team members are an important part of our community, and everyone should feel safe on Neopets. Sharing your identity, beliefs, and affirmations are not just allowed, but welcomed. The problem is that, like, yeah, after their, like, updated real stuff, a bunch of trans people got, like, warned or silenced, and I think, like, in some cases, maybe even worse, for speaking about hormone replacement therapy. And so supposedly sharing your identity, beliefs, and affirmations are not just allowed but welcomed, but there were a bunch of trans people who got in trouble for talking about hormone replacement therapy. So I don't think this messaging is actually reflective of the trans people's experience on Neopets. And I should clarify, I am cisgender, but I am bisexual. And apparently we're the ones next being targeted by stuff in the real world. Like, we're next on the chopping block. So I might as well continue to speak up for trans rights, because if I don't, who's going to speak up for me? Sharing your identity, beliefs, and affirmations are not just allowed but welcomed. Updated site rules are a better reflection of our core values. Internally, we've made updates to better guide moderators to recognize hate speech, harassment, identity-based discrimination, including subtle forms of offensive messages. Okay, honestly, hats off to them for that. But oh my gosh, as someone with a YouTube channel, I've been stuck dealing with stuff like this. It is really hard to effectively moderate because, sometimes it's hard to actually tell when someone is doing stuff that's like, what's the word, like dog whistly or like subtle forms of discrimination. Like sometimes it's really hard to tell. Like I'm not always aware of like all the newfangled dog whistles. So but it's if you're someone who actually like has to do moderation stuff and see, like if you see the messages that people receive, um it's, I think that also is like really like can take a toll too on like mental health. Like I have dealt with a lot of like really, how do I describe this? I've dealt with like a lot of specifically sexual harassment on my main channel. Like really, I've dealt with a lot of like really sexual harassment-y stuff, like really, really, really bad amounts of like sexual harassment. And hate speech is also an issue. Mostly what I face is hate speech around like ableism and misogyny. Because I am visibly a woman, like I'm visibly a femme presenting person. So I've dealt with like a lot of sexual harassment as well as like misogyny to a lesser extent. And also like hate speech around my disability, and harassment around my disability because I'm autistic. And I've received some really just, it's, here's the thing, like I've mostly noticed this stuff like happening more and more in the last year. I don't understand why per se, but I've noticed it's really been more of a thing since April specifically is when I saw like a huge uptick in like ableism specifically. But yeah, I've dealt with a lot of like just a lot of hate speech and harassment online, like in my YouTube comments. And the thing is, like I have certain words on my blocked words list, and I'm really good about like reporting stuff to YouTube and hiding users from my channel. But with YouTube, it's not like Twitch where you can like limit your commenters to only people with like verified phone numbers or whatever. So it is easier for people to ban a bait on YouTube. And so yeah, I've been dealing with like persistent issues with like harassment and hate speech, and specifically the sexual harassment is the stuff that's like really taken its toll, I'd say. But yeah. So I understand that like anyone who's doing moderation, that's hard. That really can be really hard to deal with. And I feel like I need to leave more like empathy and space for moderators because I have a better idea of what y'all face on a daily basis now, like the sort of stuff that you see and how that can kind of like hurt your view of humanity. Like yeah, I definitely feel like moderation is hard. It's really hard. Providing clearer chat guidelines. Following the updates for our site, updates of our site rules, our team is currently working on rewriting neoboard/chat guidelines to clear up common confusion that is often brought up by the community around what is and isn't acceptable when communicating. We'll launch this by Q3. We're training our moderation team and ensuring consistent enforcement. I really think that they probably should hire more moderators too. But training sessions began in mid-May and continue to be audited, corrected, and enforced for the moderation team. Our goal is consistency, fairness, and better sensitivity to reports involving marginalized players, along with quicker response times to offensive content. Yeah, the quicker response times is really important because I think there was like one really bad example of a screenshot of like something that had been left up for at least like 8 hours. That was like really offensive, or like really clearly violated TNT's rules, yet it was left up for like 8 hours, and yet trans people talking about hormone replacement therapy are getting like silenced in like record times. We've made progress, but we know it isn't perfect. They are currently being audited on a weekly basis to make sure policy is being implemented correctly and consistently. That's good. Moderation is hard and human error is unavoidable, especially when reviewing large volumes of content in a short time. That's why our top priority is to build better admin tools. For example, provide mods with a tool that provides a score on how severe a message is. This sounds like AI trash. This helps us catch serious problems faster, review higher volume of content, and support our mods in enforcing policies more accurately and fairly. I don't understand how they have like the people to program something like that, but not to like dig through the old code and remove bisexual as a blocked word, um, or basement and uncle, or like grapes and cracker, which and eyeballs, which show up in like items that people need to request for fairy quests. Um, Gathering community feedback on potential rule updates. We hosted our first LGBTQIA plus focus group in April, and we're very grateful for participants who shared their thoughts and concerns. We understand the challenges better now and are using feedback to make important fixes and identify gray areas that need to be clarified further. Improving the block function, top requested. The block function doesn't really work. What does it do? I think it stops people from sending you friend requests and emailing you. Does it even actually stop people from offering on your trades on the trading post? But yeah, the block function does not hide the person's messages on the Neo boards. So the issue is that like with the way the Neo boards work now, you can block someone, but they can just continue posting on your board and their messages are not hidden. And so an actual functional block function is something that is very highly requested. And adding neoboard pronouns are slated for Q3. Yeah, that's a good idea, because the issue is that sometimes people will put like their pronouns in their neo signatures, but I have a setting chosen where it hides like special fonts and stuff, and neo signatures are something I think it was originally out of concerns about cookie grabbers, but it's also for accessibility. If people have difficulty reading maybe bright colors and need something that's like higher contrast, having it so you hide the neo signatures can be really important for accessibility. So some people just have that setting where like neo signatures are hidden, and so even if someone has their pronouns in their neo signature, people like me can't see that. And so I think having an option for like pronouns to be like somewhere like by their pet name or something, instead of, don't they already have that with like male, female? Yeah, they should actually just change that to pronouns. Because I think that would be more helpful and better reflect like the actual what people in the community go by. And it would be nice to have it like just easily shown there so people don't have to visit user lookups because of the cookie grabber concern. Yeah, this is ongoing work, but it's work we're committed to. Thank you again for holding us accountable. We will continue to share updates, and we welcome continued feedback. And then there's a place to submit your questions to TNT Dom. Part B, our latest key updates. 1, Questlog Neopass integration. Oh yeah, this was the thing that finally made me, like, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Now I remember why I'm also on hiatus. This was the thing that, like, pushed me over the edge of, like, I am going on hiatus. They were doing this thing where, like, they were trying to get you to, 1, sign up for Neopass, and 2, it was like you'd get rewards for doing stuff on these other games on the main Neopet site. And it reminds me of when Pet Pet Park was going away. It feels like a blatant cash grab. It feels like they're trying to take the Neopets player base and funnel us into their other games. To me, that shows like they're trying to put more focus on those other games rather than the Neopet side itself. And to me, that's they're trying to milk us for all we're worth and funnel us to their other games. They're not focusing on Neopets first and foremost. And to me, that's like a dying gasp. That's the point where it's like I don't feel like they're putting priority on my favorite site. And so yeah, that's like the thing that pushed me or like to go on hiatus. Also because like, yeah, I was already really pissed off about all the moderation stuff, but this was the point where it's like, okay, I don't feel like they're putting effort into making Neopets the best site that Neopets can be. It feels like they're trying to use Neopets players to just get more players for their other apps. And also, like, I am not going to start another app that's made by, like, Neopets because of, basically Pet Pet Park, Key Quest, Treasure Keepers, and Habitarium. They've started a lot of projects that have been completely discontinued. And so it's like, I don't want to get emotionally attached to something that's just going to go away when they stop wanting to invest in it. So quest log Neopets integration, and there's an image of Hannah from Hannah and the Ice Caves against a. This looks like her in the pirate caves though, because the cave in the background looks more pirate cavey. Like there's not like any ice in the background, but there's a big pile of treasure and some treasure chests. And there's like a waffle, a starry pit, a Piofin burger, and some sort of strawberry taco in the background, and Hannah holding up like Neopets instead of the, what is it, Heart of the Ice Caves or something. Yeah, I wasn't actually around for Hannah and the Ice Caves. That was before my time. But I remember reading the comics and liking them. And actually, yeah, I remember the game part. No, I wasn't there for the plot, but I remember the game. Oh my gosh, I miss Hannah in the Pirate Caves. I think, what's it called? I think Grundo's Cafe is supposed to have that. I need to actually like spend the time and just play that on Grundo's Cafe. Yeah, I recently signed up for Grundo's Cafe, because I was told when I announced that I was going on hiatus on like the Discord, I think someone reached out to me and suggested Grundo's Cafe, and it's for Grundo's Cafe you actually have to get a referral code to be able to sign up, and so it took a little bit of time to get the referral code, but I have an account with Grundo's Cafe now, and I haven't really been feeling great mental health wise, and so I need to check it out more. Like, I need to actually spend the time to go play Grundo's Cafe, because I know they supposedly have Hannah in the Pirate Caves, and I miss that game so much, because Hannah in the Pirate Caves required Shockwave and not just Flash, and so even with, like, the Ruffle extension, it does not work on Neopets. Which is really frustrating because it's also required for an avatar. So it's one where theoretically people should be able to get that avatar, but because the game doesn't work, people can't anymore. So yeah, I don't like their image here because it feels like they're just using assets from previous plots and combining them in a way that doesn't like reflect the. It doesn't reflect what the art was originally used for, and it doesn't feel transformative in a creative way. It feels like transformative in a blatant advertising way. We've brought some interesting new quests to the quest log. Users who are linked to Neopets can now earn rewards for your Neopets Classic account. And that's also what I hate. The branding Neopets.com is Neopets Classic. To me, that suggests that they're abandoning the main site. Like, to me, that's like they're not putting effort into the Neopets site anymore. To me, that suggests like, hey, they're just trying to take the Neopets player base and funnel us into their other games. Users who are linked to Neopets can now earn rewards for your Neopets Classic account by playing Neopets Tales of Decardia and Neopets Faerie Fragments. The Link Neopets quest has been moved from the tutorial tab to the new Neopets tab. Huh. Okay. Oh yeah, that's on the quest page or something. The quest log. Users will be rewarded for linking their Neopets to each mobile game, even if you've already done so in the past. So I dislike that. It's like you get an advantage against other Neopets players if you sign up for their mobile games. And I don't know, it's like, I know they used to do immersive advertising, so I shouldn't be this mad about that, but I am. There are both daily quests and weekly quests that... there are both daily quests and weekly quests that can be completed. Weekly quests reset every Monday, and you will have 1 week to complete the assigned quests. You do not have to visit every day to complete weekly tasks. Yeah, actually, I think I'm definitely staying on hiatus because this just feels like they're trying to use the Neopets players to build up their other games, and it feels like people like me are at a disadvantage compared to people who play the other games. Currently, the daily Neopets quests share a prize pool with the daily quests, but the weekly Neopets quests sport an entirely new selection of items. There is currently no streak reward for completing Neopets quests every day, but you do get bonuses for completing all of your daily and weekly quests. Have more questions? Check out our FAQ. Learn more? Check out our FAQ. So yeah, that just irritates me. That irritates me to like no end. Yeah, that reaffirms my decision to stay on hiatus. The NC Mall revamp. The NC Mall has been revamped, and there is an image that says NC Mall in purple text, and there is a purple Ixie carrying shopping bags, and she has blue hair worn in a bob, which, honestly, I don't really like her aesthetic because it just, I don't know, it feels very anthropomorphized, I guess, is the word I'm going for. like, she doesn't look like just, oh, a generic pet. It's like a pet who is standing upright. And, like, I don't mind that for the plot characters, but to me, it's like, I think of my Neopets as being like, they're little pets that, like, I care for. I don't really like to think of them as, like, too human-like. I don't know. Like, I don't like that. I don't like how anthropomorphized she is. And I'm assuming that pronouns based upon the eyelashes, but it could be, like, the ICSI could go by different pronouns. The all-new NC Mall is now open. We've given it a complete makeover with fresh features, including a wish list feature. Sorry, I need to, like, blow my nose. It's stuffy. I have the air purifiers off to reduce background noise. Oh gosh. Yeah, I need a second one. This is also why I always keep, like, handkerchiefs by my desk, because my nose is mean. My immune system is mean. The all-new NC Mall is now open. We've given it a complete makeover with fresh features, including a wishlist feature, enhanced pet preview, and a modern look that brings your shopping experience into a new era. For more details, please read the blog article here. Not gonna do that right now. We have also updated the prizes for the survey sweepstakes rewards. You know, I would have liked if these things were, like, not on portal.neopets.com, but actually from, like, the new features page. As part of our commitment to improving and listening to valuable community feedback, we've also created a community survey. Complete the survey during June 17th through July 11th, 2025 Pacific Time, and you'll get an NC Mall-themed avatar and a chance to win amazing prizes. Okay, today's the last day to do that. I'll probably do that today. Neopets bug fixes / enhancements. The team has continued to work tirelessly resolving bugs affecting NC and NP items, ensuring a smoother and more enjoyable experience for all Neopians. Here's a summary of the recent fixes. Quest log fixes. Quest log. The Feed a Pet daily quest should now auto-complete correctly. What? No, this only applies to the Neo Lodge if your pets were already in the Neo Lodge prior to receiving the quest. You mean I don't have to constantly keep one of my pets out of the Neo Lodge for that? Granted, I think, okay, when was that? Yeah, I think all my pets should still be in the Neo Lodge. I put them in for 28 days before logging out. Quest log. Added fail-safes for completing quest, bonuses, and streaks. Users should no longer experience issues claiming tutorial quest rewards when all tasks are complete. The number of quests needed to obtain a bonus reward should now update if the user had to refresh after receiving an incorrect amount of quests, and should not exceed the maximum number of obtainable quests. Yeah, there's a bug where sometimes it'll give you duplicate or, like, multiple quests, like 10 in a day instead of 5. If for some reason an error occurs that results in corrupted streak data, the user should have no issue claiming rewards as long as the progress meter is full. Quest log. Fixed issue with the Remind Me Later function of the streak save promotional pop-up not working. Oh, that's some rubbish thing that they're trying to encourage people to buy premium, and they've been adding more and more features that are like, oh, premium people get this extra additional bonus, which one of them is like streak save function for Trudy Surprise in the quest log. Quest log. A fixed issue with the Link Neopass quest appearing more than once. Quest log. Fixed issue with recent quality of life feature that QOL means quality of life, right? Recent quality of life feature that saves the last tab visited by user. If the tab is no longer available, it will default to daily quest tabs. To the daily quests tab. I want to say I dislike acronyms like that because as someone who is autistic, like, I don't always know the correct acronym, and also people who are, like, English as a second language learners sometimes struggle with acronyms, and people who are not chronically online also sometimes struggle with acronyms. So yeah, I prefer if, like, the first time that an acronym is mentioned in, like, a text, like, it'll be, like, in parentheses what it stands for afterwards. Like, that would be helpful. Like, I think that sometimes these acronyms are, like, an issue for accessibility. Wearable fixes. The team has been working hard and have done several fixes to get the following items to appear in customization app. Wait, what? The way that is worded is so confusing. The team has been working hard and have done several fixes to get the following items to appear in customization app. Are they calling customization an app instead of a page now? I just like this newfangled attempt to make everything like an app instead of a web page. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm from like an earlier era, I guess. Like, I guess I'm a bit of a Luddite nowadays. But I don't like this whole making everything an app. I miss, like, this is supposed to be a website. Neopets is supposed to be a website. Why are we calling features on the site an app? A Grundo pedestal, glowy Quiggle outfit, hat shirt shorts, handsome Prince Quiggle powdered crown, Quiggle official outfit, beard, hat, jacket, trousers, toadstool Quiggle handheld, casual Jub Jub outfit, cap, cape, jumper shoes, floral Jub Jub boots and hat, flower patchwork Jub Jub coat, Jub Jub goggles with flowers, Jub Jub warrior outfit, cape, dress, sword, wig, elderly male mincy outfit, shirt and waistcoat, wig and beard, socks and sandals, trousers. Exciting event and fairy fragments. I hate how they're giving, like, prizes on the Neopet side if you play fairy fragments. That's just rubbish to me. It says fairy fragments. It has some white fairy, and it's got, like, a baby Drake, a baby Shoiru, and a baby Aisha, and a baby Kugra floating around her. And there are Fiora Nag, some Yelena Skyfire book, some sort of Starry Night background, and an avatar with 4 baby pets in it inside a bubble, and the text, June Summer Sun Celebration Fairy in the Glow. Dive into the June Summer Sun Celebration with fairy fragments running from June 23rd to July 24th, 2025. This campaign brings a burst of sunshine to new and exciting users, offering vibrant NP-valued Neopets Classic rewards. Again, it is absolute trash to me. It is rubbish that they keep calling Neopets Neopets Classic. Neopets.com is Neopets. Stop rebranding the site that I love as Neopets Classic. Yes, this, again, reaffirming my decision to stay on hiatus. Whether you're just starting this new adventure or returning, let's celebrate summer together under the fairy sun. Another good news is that, starting from June 18th, you can also collect additional Neopets.com rewards daily and weekly in quest log on Neopets Classic by playing fairy fragments. They're trying to call that good news and not the site is dying. Okay, whatever floats your boat, TNT. I'm at the point where I don't feel like I need to have a filter, or more like it's just like I am checked out enough of the site that I don't feel like I have to hold back criticism anymore. Like, I'm so upset about the quest log stuff. And also, I really feel like maybe they should actually introduce the block feature that they keep saying they're gonna introduce. Just actually introduce it instead of being like, this is our plan. 5. New chapter for Neopets Battle Dome PCG, Champions of Myrtle. Oh, another merchandise tie-in. Neopets Battle Dome trading card game, Champions of Myrtle, available now. The wait is over, Neopians. Destiny calls. It has been, I think, how do I put this? Does anyone have any clue when the Kickstarter role-playing game thing is actually supposed to become available? Like, when are they sending this out? Because I pre-ordered the what was it? The Kickstarter game. And I thought that was supposed to ship sometime in June, but I don't know what is the status of that. I did get the Monopoly technically in June, so at least they theoretically met the goal on that. But I think there were some people who like did not receive the Monopoly in June. So yeah, I just like how they're constantly doing new merch stuff before the previous merch has actually like arrived at people's doors. The wait is over, Neopians. Destiny calls. Champions of Myrtle has officially arrived, ushering a... Wait, I also hate how they used to have TCG games. Let me go grab this. Where is it? I'm gonna show you. They used to have a TCG game. Like, I am holding up right here, I'm holding up a Neopet species Bruce paintbrush fairy and a Neopet species Flotsam paintbrush green, and it would have like the species profile on the back, and there was an entire TCG game that like they just stop doing stuff with? Like, they had a TCG game. I just like how they have like apparently a second TCG game now when they literally used to have one that kind of just like they abandoned, which makes me very frustrated and not want to play another TCG game. The wait is over, Neopians. Destiny calls. Champions of Myrtle has officially arrived, ushering in a bold new era for the Neopets Battledome trading card game. Get ready for an epic surge of medieval magic, heroic legends, and exciting new ways to play, collect, and outsmart your opponents. And there's an image that says Neopets Battledome trading card game. There is King Scarl below it, pointing at something very angrily. The text, Champions of Myrtle against a Shield of Myrtle, and cards for Lord Daragon, Jaren, and a Scorf, as well as Neopets below it, and I think some other logos and ages 6+. Huh. I don't understand, like, why are they doing a new game instead of just, like, revitalizing the existing one? It does not inspire confidence in me. With fearless champions, formidable foes, and strategic twists around every corner, this set is packed with nostalgia, surprises, and adventure. Whether you're a seasoned Battledome strategist or stepping into Neopia for the first time, now is the perfect moment to dive in. Power up your deck, rally your champions, and prepare to make history. Learn more about Champions of Myrtle. No. Part C, sneak peek. Here's a sneak peek at some thrilling events and launches happening in the coming months. We will release an annual product roadmap. It's like they're constantly just focusing on shilling merch and shilling their other apps instead of improving Neopets.com. We will release an annual product roadmap along with our 2-year product review in late July, Q3 marketing roadmap. Neopets at San Diego, SDCC 2025, which I think is San Diego Comic-Con. Join us from July 24th through 27th, 2025 at San Diego Comic-Con with a new display on the show floor, an exciting merchandise lineup, new collaborations with partners, and an exclusive meetup for Neopets convention attendees. Soon Scoops, new limited edition merchandise. I don't like how Sin Scoops is kind of like located in like just one geographic location because it's not accessible to like the majority of the Neopets player base. In August 2025, keep an eye out for Soon Scoops, a limited edition line of Neopets merchandise. These unique items are a must-have for all collectors and fans. ACMI presents Game Worlds. From September 18th, 2025 to February 8th, 2026, Neopets will be featured in the ACMI Game Worlds exhibition alongside other iconic games such as World of Warcraft by Blizzard Entertainment, The Sims by Electronic Arts, and Hollow Knight. Enjoy playable demos and exclusive insights into the world of Neopia. The Neopets team, TNT, will also be present at the kickoff party and on the launch day, September 17th through 18th. To celebrate the opening of this exciting exhibition. Part D, NC-related updates. Some more shilling merch! Except this time it's like just virtual stuff, so if the site ever goes down, you don't have access to it anymore. The styling studio celebrates summer with nostalgic island and new tropical pet styles. And, what was it? I think I remember it was, like, Pikachu something or other on Jelly Neo was, like, giving, like, a whole detailed, like, huge detailed explanation of, like, the problems with certain island pets in terms of, like, cultural stuff. And so, yeah. These are controversial as well. The styling studio celebrates summer with a nostalgic island and new tropical pet styles. Something exciting is happening at the styling studio. Tropical and nostalgic island pets are soaking up the sun in style. Inspired by the spirit of summer, Umbra has unleashed a wave of creativity, bringing you a fresh selection of nostalgic island favorites alongside brand new, vibrant tropical looks. New island pet style, which is a beach background with like a watery border, and from left to right, a island Lutari, an island Ogren, an island Waki, oh my gosh, that's so cute, an island Kachik, and an island Choiru. And then new tropical style, there is a Vandergeir and the Varwolf against, again, like a beachy background with an ocean border. Dive into the NC Mall today to discover these sunny styles and give your pets a fabulous summer makeover. Your restyling adventure starts now. Don't miss out. One thing that I do dislike is like how many of the colors nowadays are just like neocash. Like, is there actually like a neopet, a neopoint equivalent for this at the Rainbow Pool for these two new pets? And I just like how, okay, how much of the Vandergeirs, like, how much can the Vandergeir actually wear? Because if I remember right, they weren't originally going to, like, retroactively make old wearables wearable by the Vandergeir. And so I want to know, like, how much has that actually changed? Are wearables like that used to not be wearable by the Vandergeir now wearable by them? And also, to what extent are existing wearables wearable by werewolves? So yeah, you can do the whole studio supply stuff, but that costs money. That costs neocash, which you usually obtain through real life money. I think back in November, they gave out like free neocash to people as some promotional thing for their birthday celebration. And there's also, I think, a very small chance to win. I think it is not very much NC from the Quasell and Expella box daily. But yeah, that costs, I think basically this essentially costs real life money. Stay tuned for more updates. Stay connected by checking our official updates and newsletters for the full scoop as these changes roll out. I hate how they don't just post things in the new features on the site itself. Your feedback and support are instrumental in shaping the future of Neopia. Thank you for being a valued part of our community as we continue to grow and improve together. It's like they can say that, but I don't feel like a valued part of their community. Specifically because of how the one of their ambassadors who got rechosen to be an ambassador, when there were a lot of concerns about the way that trans folks were being harassed on the general Neopets discussion, suggested making a like LGBTQIA plus exclusive Neo board. But the thing is, that came off as a call for segregation. Because the people were being like really, really concerned about the fact that there were trans folks being harassed on general Neopets discussion, and the proposed solution by the ambassador was to go create an LGBTQI plus Neo board instead of just making general Neopets discussion safer. And so in that context, it felt like a call to separate those of us who are different. And as someone who is breathe. As someone who, I'm sorry, I'm getting very passionate about this because this goes into my own trauma, but as someone who is a survivor of seclusion rooms and has been like the victim of being separated based upon my immutable characteristic, my autism, I am absolutely against that idea. I'm against the idea of segregating LGBTQI plus Neopians to a different Neo board, and the fact that they had an ambassador who suggested that, and then they rehired that ambassador and didn't make like a specific inclusion ambassador after that. It really made me feel like Neopets is no longer like a safe space. Especially because like Neopets for me when I was growing up, it was where I would go when I was dealing I had a lot of really bad things happening in my real life, and Neopets was my escape. It was my place to just go and be myself, to avoid the horrors of the real world. It was a place to just be. It was my escape, and to see Neopets turning into like the opposite of a safe haven, it really broke. It broke my love of the site to an extent. It made me, to me, like, Neopets is no longer the safe space that it once was. The escape from reality, which I think a lot of people need, especially in the way that the world is going. Like, the fact that little neopets.com, this nostalgic site from 1999, is not immune to harassment and hate speech. The site that's supposed to be kind of like just like a little virtual pet site to take care of your pet, and I guess a capitalism simulator. That's it's got like the whole economy aspect too, which is I think a lot of the fun of the site. But the fact that even little Neopets is not safe from harassment and hate speech it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. I need to actually play Grundos Cafe, because like that's supposed to address, like that site is supposed to be like more what's the word, like more heavily moderated. But it's just frustrating. Like I kind of like need that escape of some, like, I don't know, like Neopets was always like my escape. That was my little escape site. And yeah, it's hard because like on Neopets there are still issues, and it's like I'm trying to escape from things like the Secretary of Health and Human Services repeatedly calling my people an epidemic and implying that he'd rather us die of rather people die of hepatitis than end up like me. Like I am having to deal with stuff like that in the real world. Neopets should be immune from this stuff. Neopets should be a safe space, and yet they're not, which just ruins my enjoyment of Neopets. And also, like, the whole quest log thing, like, that was just, like, the final straw of a multitude of issues that just pushed me on hiatus. And also, like, the like stuff like the way they're handling like the virtual reward stuff, it's like I don't think that Neopets should be like play to win. Sorry, I don't think Neopets should be pay to win. I think that having like rewards that are like economy breaking for people who buy merch, that's just trash. It's unfair to the rest of the player base. And I dislike how, considering the fact that they've like discontinued previous TCG games, like they're doing new TCG games, or the fact that it's like I'm still waiting on the Kickstarter game, and yet they're announcing what is it, like new collaborations and stuff. So I don't know, I don't have a lot of love for the way that Neopets is being run. I guess maybe I still have a lot of love for like the lore, the intellectual property of the site that I once loved. But I don't like the way that the site's being run right now. I've lost faith in it, and it's very, very frustrating because for me, Neopets was an escape for a long time. And I should also say I'm wearing this cute little I guess name tag type badge that says hello, I'm bisexual, and I felt like I should wear something like this since I am talking about issues that affect the lgtbqia plus community, to kind of just show visibly the fact that it's like, hey, I am bi. And I feel like with the way the world's going, it is incredibly important to have visible representation to let other people know that like, hey, you're not alone. To know that there are other people maybe like you who are also facing similar challenges. Like I feel like that's something that a lot of people need, especially with just the way the world's going right now. Like I've noticed like an increase in hate speech and harassment in just my everyday life. I've noticed essentially the US government treating people like me as a disease instead of as a person. And so like I really feel like I need to be like open about the fact that like, hey, disabled people exist, LGBTQI plus people exist, and like I am facing a lot of struggles, and it's okay if you're facing struggles too. Like I think we need to normalize talking about mental health issues in like especially the current political climate. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like if I don't talk about issues and give my commentary on issues, then like who else will? Like I need to be the representation that I wanted to see when I was younger, so that way other people can benefit from that, like knowing that like you're not alone. You're not the disease that the government is painting us out to be. So yeah, I hope that this encourages you, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to encourage at this point. Like, I just wanted to talk about my little hyperfixation of Neopets, my favorite site when I was growing up, and give my commentary on their Neopets monthly update for July. Yeah. I hope y'all, I guess, like, do your best. Keep on living. Just sometimes carrying on and being visible in and of itself is an act of hope or an act of resistance. And I hope you have a great day.